Time now for The Real Estate Connection with Stephen Theard, a realtor and certified probate and real estate specialist. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned investor looking to downsize, move up, or refinance, this program is for you.
Our house in the middle of our street.
From probate sales to landscape design to home repairs and maintenance, this is your weekly look into all things real estate. Now your host for The Real Estate Connection, Stephen Theard.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to another episode of The Real Estate Connection, brought to you by Good Patriot Realty. A salute to home ownership. All right, thank you guys for joining me. I really do appreciate you spending time with me this afternoon to go through this episode of the podcast. So without any further ado, we're going to jump right on in. The more things change, the more they stay the same. What an amazing 2 years we've lived through, right, people? I mean, geez Louise, we've lived through a lot of different stuff. Locking down an entire nation, worldwide actually, nations all over the globe locked down, battling a virus worldwide. You know, did any of us see this coming back in 2017, 2018, where the whole entire globe would be battling the same virus? It's like we all woke up one day and all had the same cold. It's crazy. U.S. leadership changes. We had a change in the leader of the free world over the last 2 years as well, and also inflation, supply chain issues, and a nation divided on vaccines. These are just some of the things that we have all lived through over the last 2 years. But the old adage says, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So what's the one thing that has not changed with all of this upheaval and turmoil throughout the entire globe? The one thing that's not changed is that people are still buying and selling real estate. That's right. No matter what, everybody, whether they're wearing a mask or not wearing a mask, vaccinated, unvaccinated, have a job or unemployment, no matter what, everybody still needs a roof over their head. Thus, meaning there's always transactions and movement of people, meaning real estate is still changing and selling and moving in that whole realm of the marketplace. So what's the other thing that does not change? Everyone is paying a mortgage. Now, you may ask yourself, you may be saying, but Stephen, I'm a renter. I'm not paying a mortgage. Yeah, you are. You're either paying your own mortgage or you're paying your landlord's mortgage. So yes, you definitely are paying a mortgage. So the old adage goes, lost my place. Okay, wait a minute. I got to give myself the bicycle horn. All right, reset. The old adage goes, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So in today's podcast, we're going to talk about just that. The more things change, the more they stay the same. But in the context of real estate. So we're going to go through what has stayed the same and what has changed in real estate through all of this turmoil that we've all been going through since the pandemic hit. Lockdowns, people staying home from work, unemployment, even changing in leadership. All kinds of stuff has been going on around the globe. But what has changed in real estate and what has actually stayed the same as we've continued to see homes be purchased and sold, especially here in the United States where we have very low inventory and people are just driving prices up. So let's hit with the changes first. And oh, by the way, if you've listened to this podcast before or you haven't and you don't want to miss another podcast episode, send me an email right now at info@realestateconnectionradio.com. That's info@realestateconnectionradio.com with your name and your email address, and I'd be happy to add you to my podcast distribution list. That way you don't have to miss another episode. Just send me an email today, or you can find the Real Estate Connection on podbean.com or Apple Podcasts. That's right, Apple Podcasts. Just go into the business section, check out the Real Estate Connection. Look for the guy in the cowboy hat, and you should find me no problem. Okay, so what are the changes that we've seen because of all the different stuff that's been going on over the last 2 years in the real estate market? One thing that sellers have found out that they used to ask for all the time is that open houses are not necessary to sell homes. That's right, open houses are not necessary to sell homes. Sellers have learned that you can get your house sold without opening up the home to anyone who walks in off the street. Now, us in the business, we call it looky-loos. People are just out in the weekend running errands or coming back from a social event, and they see an open house sign in a neighborhood that they're curious about, and they follow the directional signs to the front yard and walk in the door just to look. Those are what we call looky-loos. In real estate, they can take up some time and distract you from the people who are really seriously considering purchasing a home. So, with the pandemic and the lockdowns, we were not able as a profession to do open houses, and yet homes that were listed for sale were still selling. So, sellers realized that they do not need to have open houses in order to sell a home. Serious buyers will find a way to see your home if they're truly interested. Plus, it also gives you a better gauge on the interest in the property. You're not trying to sort through people who are just coming out to see the house just as a sport or a way to kill time in the afternoon. If you don't have an open house and people are having to make appointments in order to come in and see the property, you know for a fact that they're ready to buy. They're seriously considering purchasing a home. They've been pre-qualified for a loan, and they're working with a qualified real estate professional. Also, technology has come alongside for the assist. We've had FaceTime, where we've had real estate agents, realtors come into an open house with clients who may not want to come out yet because they're not quite comfortable with the conditions of health in the area, and a realtor can just turn on the FaceTime on their phone and walk through the property and have their clients walk through with them and stop and ask questions and do all that kind of stuff. Also, Zoom has been another technology assist. If you have Zoom on your phone, if you're a realtor and you wanted to conduct an open house where you just wanted to have people who are interested take a look, you could schedule different times on the weekend for open call Zooms, where you could walk through the house virtually with people on the Zoom call and answer questions. Also, a technology called Matterport, which is a 3D camera that's put into a home and takes 360-degree views of a property, creates the ability for you to walk through a property from the comfort of your home on your desktop computer, your laptop, or your tablet. It's a virtual tour where you literally just walk through all the hallways and the rooms of a house and kind of get a feel for what the inside of the home looks like. So that's a major technology change and a major mind shift change in the minds of sellers as to what gets a home sold. You do not need to have open houses in order to sell a house. What's another change that has come on board with major mass adoption due to the upheaval we've seen around the planet, around the globe? Mass adoption of electronic signatures. Now, before the pandemic, electronic signatures were being used as a convenience. However, there were a lot of realtors who were still sitting across the table from Mr. and Mrs. Seller or Mr. and Mrs. Buyer and walking through the documents and physically having people sign them. But with the onset of the pandemic and people locked in their homes or not wanting to go out in public or be with other people, the adoption of electronic signatures has taken hold as a staple in the real estate transaction now. You absolutely have to adopt that if you want to, say, not go out in public or not have people come into your house, which now makes it a tool, a must-have tool for realtors and for buyers and sellers who are looking to purchase real estate. It's been completely adopted. Plus, Sellers can complete necessary documents and still have no outside contact if that's what they absolutely want. So, this has been something that's a major change in the industry. Before, it was kind of optional. You could pay for it or not pay for it and adopt it into your real estate business, either as a broker or a realtor. But nowadays, it's an absolute must have. You must have it in your arsenal in order to conduct business around the United States of America. All right, so what's number 3 as far as changes in real estate due to what's been going on around the globe? Realtors can work with sellers and buyers remotely. Now, in the height of the lockdown, or when the lockdown was just ending, there were tons of anecdotal stories going around from people in the profession explaining how they put a house on the market without actually going out to the property. What they would do is they'd meet with the seller online through FaceTime or through email correspondence or through Zoom conference calls and talk about the strategy for getting the home put on the market. And then if the seller really didn't want the realtor to come over into the house, they could do a walkthrough virtually using the phone or a laptop or tablet to show the realtor the different aspects of the property and put a strategy together in order to get the house ready for sale. Before the pandemic happened, this never happened. It was like taboo. If you were a real estate professional, you always went out to the property to take a look in person to see what was going on and walk the property and provide advice to the seller in order to get it ready for sale. But since pandemic has happened, it's opened the door for remote work. So if you have a family member, say in Southern California, and they want you to assist them in selling the house, you absolutely can do that now. Whereas before it was considered a taboo because you weren't really on the ground in that market. You were up in Northern California. Now you can do a lot of things virtually and work with your client and still project an air of expertise in helping a seller get their property ready for sale. The same thing goes for buyers for virtual showings. So what was going on is a seller would leave the property and a realtor would go out to the house and do FaceTime or Zoom with their buyer, where their buyer did not have to leave their home to go see the property and walk around and have a nice conversation and talk about it, and then put an offer together using electronic forms and electronic signatures. And sometimes the buyer would see the house for the first time after they went into contract, or maybe they would just drive by the neighborhood and not really go inside because of technology tools that we have available to us today. And then if you did not want to go drive out and see the house, there's always mapping software that's available on the internet from some major internet search engines, and we all know who those people are, that you can drive a neighborhood virtually and see the surrounding homes without actually having to leave your house. So with the pandemic and the lockdowns and the virus floating around out there and people not wanting to necessarily deal with it, it's made the adoption of tools that were there kind of for convenience and used sometimes to be fully adopted into the real estate industry. And we don't see that changing moving forward because people have learned that they can actually use these tools and still purchase and sell real estate. Now, let's move into the area of what things have absolutely still remained the same, even though we've had a big upheaval in how we do business around the globe and especially in the United States of America. And quick commercial. If you're just joining this podcast, we're talking about what remains the same. I mean, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And we're talking about that concept in real estate. And this program is brought to you by Good Patriot Realty, a salute to home ownership. If you have any questions about buying or selling, give your real estate broker, Stephen Theard, a phone call at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. I'd be happy to help you in navigating the changing real estate market and what's remained the same in the real estate market. So, jumping into that, What has absolutely still remained the same as far as buying and selling real estate, even though we've had a big upheaval around the globe? Repair work and painting to get a home ready for sale has to be done in person. It's not changed. If you want things to get fixed, cracks in walls, paint work, uh, landscaping, trimming back of trees, roof repairs, all of that uh, repair work and painting still is being done in person. And still, the repair guy has to go out and take a look at the job in person to give you a bid to let you know how much it's going to cost. So that absolutely has not changed. The virtual world has not created a way to paint and repair homes. All right, interest rates. Interest rates still play a major role in purchasing power. With the pandemic, interest rates have been kept artificially low, hovering around 3% or lower, which has made it easier for buyers to afford a bigger and more expensive house. However, as interest rates go up over 3% and into the 4% range, what you'll see is less buyers in the market with the ability to write offers way over the asking price, which for sellers, this may mean a slowdown in the increase in gains that you'll see going into 2022 if the interest rates continue to go up. You'll see buyers who were previously qualified to purchase a house at say 800,000 because the rate was say 2.75% to 2.9%, now only qualified to 750,000 because the rate is up over 3 and climbing up to the 4s. So the higher the interest rates go, the more it costs to borrow money over time, and the more you're going to pay in a housing payment, which means buyers can afford less house. They won't be able to pay as much. So sellers, the prize will be getting a full price offer, and with not a lot of requests for repairs. For buyers, you may be able to negotiate a little bit more. We're not saying the market's crashing or there's a bubble. What we're saying is that because interest rates, if they do go up, it'll cost you more money to borrow. You may have less people in the market competing for homes, which means you'll have a little bit more negotiating power for repairs and maybe credits for closing costs. Don't expect sellers to reduce their home prices very much, because over the past 7 to 8 years, as the prices have gone up and due to changes in lending, there's a lot of cash behind behind the house values that are out there today. People have been buying homes with 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% down, and so they're not just going to walk away from that cash investment in their home. They're going to wait for an offer that fits what they're trying to sell the house for, or they're going to take it off the market. So you might see some less competition and a little bit more negotiating room as far as repairs and credits, but we won't see the housing values come down quickly because sellers will push back absolutely. All right, housing supply still plays a major role in the value of homes. That has not changed due to the pandemic. When there's not a lot of supply, homes are more valuable. So it's the old apples to apples comparison. If there's only one apple for sale and 10 people want that apple, then the price of that apple is going to go through the roof. However, if there are bushels and bushels of apples available for sale and there's only 10 people that want to buy an apple, then you're going to really have to lower the price and sell those apples in bunches in order to get them sold. So it's all good old supply and demand, and that still has not changed during a pandemic. All right, what else has still remained the same? Strong and clean offers play a major role in winning a house when you're trying to buy. So buyers, do yourself a favor, get yourself a seasoned real estate professional or a new realtor who's highly motivated and highly trained. So I can't say 100% that just because someone's been in the business for a very long time that they're good at what they do, because as you well know, in your own work life, there are some people on the job that have been there a long time that just aren't that good. And then you hire a new person, they catch on quickly, they're a go-getter, a hard worker, and next thing you know, they surpass the person that's been on the job for 20 years. Find someone who's competent, diligent, and if they're new, hungry. If they're returning your phone calls right away, they're sending you emails as soon as you request information, or if they're on time, they look sharp, and they fully explain the process of what's going on, even if they're new. That means you have a person that cares. And that's the most important thing when you're looking for a service provider in the real estate market, is someone who really cares about you and what you're trying to do and protecting you in the process. And that can be someone who's newer to the business or someone who's been in the business for a very long time. Now, for someone who's been in the business for a very long time who cares, they just have more experience. So they'll be able to see pitfalls that the new person may not see because they just don't have the experience. So if you can find someone who cares with a lot of experience, absolutely hire them, trust them, work with them, and then become a team member, because no one's perfect. Even everybody makes mistakes. Buyers, sellers, real estate professionals work together. Look for as when I'm working with my buyers or sellers, I help them out when I see them that they've missed something, and they help me out if they see that I've missed something. And so we're a team, and that's what it's all about, because more people working on the same project together, that means there's going to be better results. If you're looking for somebody to help you out that has the experience and does care, give me a phone call. Stephen Theard, your real estate broker here and podcaster with Good Patriot Realty, a salute to homes ownership, at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. All right, so what else has not changed? Cash is king. Cash offers, large down payments, easy loans, easy small loans that are easy to deal with are king. All right? And remember, a good realtor is worth its weight in gold. You still need good credit to purchase a home, and you get the most bang for your buck when you prepare a home right for sale. So if you're a seller and you're trying to get the most amount of money out of your house, prepare, prepare, prepare. Take the advice of a seasoned realtor, declutter, follow their instructions, even if it seems offensive. Meaning, why do you want me to do all this stuff? My home's nice already. It's only for your benefit. It's like having, it's like telling you to exercise to lose weight, right? It's hard. It's sometimes hard to hear, but it's something that's good for you. It takes a little bit of work and effort, but when you go and do it, you always feel a lot better. Same thing with a house, getting it ready for sale. It takes a lot of effort, takes some work, but when you do it and then the results are done at the end, you feel really good about it and you get a lot more money for your house. So that has not changed as well. Pictures and staging are still valid and make a home more desirable for buyers. Do it, do it, do it. Do not hire a realtor or a broker who tells you they're going to take their own pictures. Don't do it. Don't go to a discount broker and says, "Oh, don't worry, I got it. I've been doing this for years. I take my own pictures. I'm going to save you money." They're not saving you any money. They're costing you money. Hire a professional, pay a little bit more, get professional photos done, follow the guidance of your realtor or your broker, and you will definitely make more money on the sale of your house if you do. Also, hire a good listing realtor who can guide you through disclosures to keep you out of court in the long run. That's the last one. Hey, HGTV shows the realtor coming in and fixing up the house and marketing it and taking all these neat photos, and the house looks beautiful. But they never show you the back end of the deal, which is the legal aspects. What you're required to disclose to buyers as a seller, and then for buyers, what you should be looking out for when you're reading information that's provided by the seller to keep you from walking into a money pit. Those are the back end issues that are never on television, and that's really what you're paying your real estate professional for. As a seller, to keep you from getting sued in the future for not telling a material fact about the house that may cost that new owner lots of money. It's always about money. If you forget to say something like, I buried a time capsule in the backyard, and the buyer goes out to dig a pool and finds it, and he goes, "Oh, they never told me about that." That's not going to cost the new owner any money. They just didn't know. But if there is a a major super fun dump site with toxic waste in the backyard, and they go to dig a pool and they uncover it and it costs them 30 grand to expose of it properly, you might be getting a phone call from the new owner saying, why didn't you tell me, and pony up to the bar and help me pay for this thing or pay for it altogether. So that's what real estate professionals are there for, is to help you walk through the disclosure process. So at the end of the deal, there's a clean separation between buyer and seller, and you all both can move on with your lives without looking over your shoulders. So that's it. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Technology has absolutely changed the game. Open houses are not necessary to sell a house. Sellers now know that for a fact because they've lived it. But you still need the basics, blocking and tackling, in order to get the most amount of money out of your house, and to qualify for low down payments. Qualify for low interest rates. You need good credit, and cash is king. It always is going to be that way in supply and demand. Those rules are universal, and so they're always going to remain valid through any economy. Also, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for joining me today on the show. A lot's going through my mind. If you have any questions about residential real estate, whether it's for investment, second home, primary home, for your kids, for your aging parents, maybe you inherited a property, do you keep it or sell it, or you're just looking to move up, move down, or buy for the first time, give Stephen Theard, your podcast broker, a call at 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. And I'd like to thank Good Patriot Realty, the sponsor for this podcast, for all of their help and assistance for keeping this podcast going. Good Patriot Realty, a salute to home ownership. If you're out there looking to buy or sell, give Good Patriot Realty a call. Broker owner Stephen Theard, 408-472-0817. Again, 408-472-0817. And with that, I'm going to leave you with this. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. If you call Jesus Christ your Lord, Savior, and King, and the Father is your God, just know that he is always the same, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. He's still the God of Moses, of Jacob, of Aaron, the God of King David, and the God, Father of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and the God of the apostles and all the saints. So God bless you. God bless the United States of America, and God bless your family. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next week on another episode of The Real Estate Connection. Take care.
This has been The Real Estate Connection with Realtor and Certified Probate and Real Estate Specialist Stephen Theard. Licensed Cal BRE number 0170019. For more information on this program, visit realestateconnectionradio.com. To contact Stephen directly, call 408-472-0817 or email info@realestateconnectionradio.com. And be sure to tune in next week at this time for The Real Estate Connection.